So when I think of property and casualty, and I've learned about this over the last several years, what was one of the most important features to our owners? Right? What was one things that I was not aware of, and one of the most important features. And the thing that I found that people dislike doing themselves more than anything else out there was servicing. They like talking to the clients. They like selling. They like growing what they do. They like growing their book of business for sure. What they don't like is the service aspect. And so when I asked that question, I found in my research that about 65% of the time of an existing book of business, if an individual is working, 65% of their time is spent on servicing. So historically, what you've seen is someone get a book that's growing, plateaus because they spend most of their time on service, not on sales. And so for me, that was one of the most interesting revelations that I had learning more about the property and casualty business, and one of the biggest and truest advantages with We Insure. Hi, my name is Chris Pfluger. I am the Chief Development Officer here at We Insure, and today we have a very special topic for the We Wonder. It was the power of service, and the term service is very, very broad. So what we're going to talk about today is exactly what service is, define it a little bit, how it's truly a competitive advantage, how many people are involved, and many, many more items. So I would like to welcome and introduce Shelly Rayton. Hey, Shelly, how are you?
Great. How are you doing, Chris?
I am doing very well. And you are in charge of that big word we call the S word, service.
Yeah. I sure am.
So tell us a little bit about your background briefly, and then tell us a little bit about, kind of what is service. So start with your background.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. I love talking service, even though, like you had mentioned, it's typically not something that the agents prefer to do. They love to grow their business. But I've been in the insurance industry for just about 20 years now. Started young. I don't want to give away my age or anything, but I did start young. But I spent the first 15 years with a national captive carrier. And so that really afforded me the exposure and the training on kind of, the captive operations and especially call center management. So I do have a lot of experience in managing the call center expectations nationally. So on a national level, and that's really the vision that we're heading towards, and done a great job in 10 states so far this year. That's just amazing expansion. But that does include developing and analyzing call center metrics and productivity, efficiencies, and developing standard operating procedures. So I had a lot of training in that. It really was a great opportunity for me. But, I joined We Insure just a little over 2 years ago. I think it's maybe 2 years and 11 days, if I think I'm counting correctly. And it really was an amazing honor and a blessing to be a part of this team. Being in the insurance industry for so long, I really saw the vision and the mission behind the development and the growth of this company. And to be a part of a growing and collaborative and customer-centric company is truly what drew me to We Insure, even after spending 15 years with the same company. And so, to have the most market access and a turnkey operation, it was just a no-brainer. And I really did see what Phil was aiming after. Even just having the marketing team is second to none, in my opinion, here. And I've, was a part of a large brand, in the insurance industry for that long. The accounting and agency development, just all of those pieces that I saw We Insure offer. It really, it's not just about being an AVP of the service unit. It's about being a part of a large industry that I really saw value in myself. So, our customers are really the center of everything that we do at We Insure, and that includes our agency owners, first and foremost, their customers, the clients, and of course our carrier partners. So we really think, our customers comprise of three different avenues, and they're really the center of everything that we do with We Insure. Going above and beyond to keep our customers happy expand our carrier partnerships. That's super important to the We Insure model, and representing them, positively, and just being the backbone of our agency owners and service. And that is why we're here. We're here to talk about service and everything we do. And I'm happy to go into details with that and really maybe show an impact of why it's so important to have this backbone in an insurance industry.
Well, Shelly, I would say it's not only important. I would say it's one of our distinct, competitive advantages with We Insure. When we talk to, folks out there that are in the insurance industry, they really get it. It's one of the reasons why we, once we have an agency owner in place and are looking to hire producers, the producers come aboard and said, I don't have to do the service anymore. Nope, we handle it for you. Not only do you get all of the carrier access and highest tier commissions and all the benefits of being associated with We Insure, but frankly, this is the thing. This is that key that turns that lock. When people say, yes, I get it, light bulb goes off, and this makes so much more sense because, even we had one of our owners on about 3 weeks ago, and they said, I came from a place that said they did service, and I still came to We Insure, and We Insure saved me 1 day per week, which ultimately, if you think about it, with 52 weeks in a year, you're saving a month and a half, almost 2 months of the year, not doing service work. What can you do, right? You can sell, you can grow your book, you can engage with, all of your referral sources and really help those clients out. So to me, it is one of it really is the cornerstone. It's one of the main pegs of our stool, at least, that people don't understand well, but appreciate. It's almost like you pull back the curtain. They really do appreciate. And you mentioned one thing. You said, managing call centers. So I want to clarify something real quick. So when people hear the word, call center, they think, oh man, there's, all these people sitting there, unskilled labor, just answering phones and doing things. And that's not exactly the case here, is it?
No, it isn't. We still have that family feel, personal touch. It's really important for us in the service department to have that rapport building with the customer, not focusing so heavily on average handle time, because we want to give the best service and create that loyal return customer for our agents, because that's really that residual income that they're looking, to have, and also just to grow the We Insure brand in general. So that personal touch is important to us. We have dedicated supervisors too that really focus on the coaching and that interaction with our CSRs that are all licensed and trained and go through a training curriculum in order to service your clients or all of our We Insure clients. So it definitely still has that family feel, and we aim for that.
Well, and not only that, everyone's licensed. It's not like these are all licensed insurance professionals. It's not just a whole bunch of people who pulled in off the street and said, quick, answer the phone. It's licensed individuals that can actually handle all of the service needs. And we cut off at a certain point, but we also help with the cross-sell campaigns. We have a mortgage division. How many divisions do we have?
Yeah, great question. So high level umbrella, we have 7 service specialty teams, and there's around 70 employees total, which really has grown tremendously, even in the 2 years that I've been here, at least by half. And so we're really looking to that forecasting of our growth and making sure that we have the proper support in place and those the teams put together to be able to sustain the growth. And but they're really just an extension of the agency's offices. That when clients call in, they wouldn't know whether or not we're sitting right behind them and helping them out. We really represent our agency owners in that way. But we are, the support that is needed, where you had mentioned 65% of your time could be spent towards servicing. And I think it's important to really put that into perspective. Coming from an independent world, it's definitely 65%. I can attest to that, being in the insurance industry. But also, like you had mentioned, an agency owner that we currently have who came from a very similar model. What we do, even in addition to that, has saved an additional full day a week for them. And so it allows us, the agency owners, to really grow their business quickly, while you can depend on us to support that growth for you and take a lot of those day-to-day tasks off your hand. it was especially helpful too when we talk about testimonies. Chris, one of your agency owners that came on a few weeks ago had talked about the unforeseen circumstances too that can happen in life. And an agent was located in the Panhandle area when that hurricane came through, and it devastated that area, both professionally for him, but also personally. And we were able to be there during that time to help his clients handle all the requests that they had when they had no internet or phone service. And so, we kind of think about all of those types of situations that you have a family to support you.
Well, I can tell you that, that's an amazing story, because all his clients didn't know that his office wasn't up and running. They
Right.
were amazed. They thought he had power, internet, and everything else. He actually was working in another state in someone's kitchen to do the sales side. But on the support side, people were calling in every day, which were in dire need of support, obviously, with the hurricane coming through. Not only were we able to get through, but we were able to handle everything as if he were fully running with an entire team standing behind him in another location. And so that's the thing. I think people miss that opportunity. It's not just the one guy that you're talking to that may be handling your service. There's 75 people, 100 people behind him, whether it's marketing or support or whatever it might be at headquarters, that are really there to help support you. So we use the term a lot, and they use them in other industries as well. We're really working for you, and we ensure we really are literally working for you, right?
Absolutely, and that's that package franchise system that that comes with those 70 staff members that we talked about, especially if you're new to the industry. But again, it's all of those different departments that we offer. But when you think of service, think about what we do specifically. So even Q3 of this year in 2020, we've done 330,000 approximately in task work so far this year. 330,000. If you just think about that, that's just we have to do that in a timely manner. We have customers and that are waiting, and we recognize that, and we don't want them waiting long, and we want to do it with quality, with the utmost quality. But we've also taken and made 164,000 calls so far through Q3 of this year. So that's not even this last month. And when you look at those numbers, that's staggering, because if you think about 120 offices, it's a lot. And so it's very high volume. But think about, answering just simple policy deductible questions. We take that off of your hands, taking payments, canceling policies, adding drivers and vehicles. That happens all the time. Any outbound calls to discuss, inspection fixes, we handle all of that. But there's so many details to service that take you away from being able to grow your business quickly. That, if you put it into a larger perspective, it's time consuming. Mm-hmm. And we have a very turnkey system with a lot of efficiencies, texting, and the best technology, and I know that you've discussed our technology on some of your live casts, and it's true, one of the best insurance management systems out there, including our phone system. And speaking, even of COVID, Chris, we had to up and take all of the service center in a half a day and have them go home. And we were able to do that seamlessly and be able to still track the productivity and the phone stats, because we measure everything at We Insure. We have goals. We have really high goals for ourselves, high standards. And we were able to still coach and be able to do all of those things that we did in the office and do that without disruption. And also during COVID, we grew, we expanded our teams, we added new people. We've added quite a few new people in the last 2 months. And so even through this time, adding opportunities and giving stability to our current employees at We Insure as well. But, you think about this high volume, notifying you on renewal rate increases proactively so that you can reshop your customers ahead of time. Those are important pieces of the puzzle of being a successful agency owner. And we have that figured out for for the agency owners. And they have really been, very positive and appreciative of what the team does.
So a couple other points in there. So you have a mortgage team.
Yes.
You have it's multilingual. You have multilingual agents that answer the phones.
That's correct.
And there's a commercial division, correct?
Yeah, there's a commercial division. Mm-hmm.
So we have that. We have a retention division. So we retain, we help, you retain your clients on your book. You mentioned the shopping part. Now, that part was very interesting to me because I know that it happened to me in Colorado. It happened to me where I was with one of the captives, we call it, with the State Farms, all states farmers, where they only have their product to sell. And I wasn't told. I literally just had an increase, got my bill and went, wow, that seems high. And it was a 22% increase.
Yeah.
But you know how hard it was to get my agent on the line after there's a 22% increase? 3 calls and 2 weeks later, finally get her on the line to tell me, well, you know how it is, rates go up.
Yeah.
Well, in our situation with We Insure, we would have already let the producer in your office know, or your agency owner know, that you've got 36 people that are with this carrier. It's about to go up 22%, and that person would have been able to call me and say, hey, it's going up 22%, Chris. Would you like to keep it with that particular, insurance carrier, or would you like me to shop it? That's how we maintain your book for you, right? We're proactively monitoring things that are customer friendly, that help you look like a champion in the field. That's the part that really impressed me.
Absolutely. And I think, what I loved about this coming from the captive world, you had a product to sell. And that's great. And nothing there, but for us, the customer is the product. The customer is the one that we take care of, and we see what's best for that customer and have that market access there to be able to fit the right policy with that right customer. And we're here to back that up so you can do that time and time again and grow your book of business. But the most successful agencies that we've seen at We Insure are those that really utilize our team to the max. That really kind of, entrust in us to take care of their clients and let us do that. But, Chris, I know that you had talked about competitive advantages and what do we do differently or in my opinion, maybe better, or what do we do that really sells this, the service center, in my opinion, versus any other out there is our sci-fi team. We sci-fi is absolutely one of our competitive advantages. It stands for submit it and forget it. So submit it and forget it. You bind the policy, you quote that policy, you bind that policy with a customer, you take the payment, and you provide us with the underwriting documents, and we service that policy day one. And that's huge. And the reason why I really want to stress that is because, a lot of the servicing, the heavy lifting is in the first 60 to 90 days of a policy or the underwriting period. And so the fact that we handle the trailing documents and the data management of the client, that right there is a huge competitive advantage that we offer. Also, we have an agent hotline team. That is another great advantage of We Insure because we have a dedicated VIP service for all of our agency owners and producers. They are your CSRs. They're our most tenured CSRs, and those CSRs that really can handle any request that an agent asks of them. They are your go-to team. They have great relationships. Again, it's smaller. We have family feel. Of course, we're growing all the time. But it's an extremely quick turnaround expectation there. So it's urgent. We know it. And we have to do a great job to have that team.
That's fantastic. Well, you mentioned it before. We're always growing. We're in the midst of a national expansion campaign. We're currently in 11 states. I know we plan to be in about 6 states this year, but who knew? It was very popular. And I'd like to say that we did an amazing job on the sales side, but really the brand and the model really sells itself. So once word got out, we started talking about multiple states, and we're growing very quickly. One of the concerns that folks would naturally have is, can we keep up with that, right? Can we keep up with being licensed in multiple states and handle things? Tell me about our expansion plans, even on the service side.
Yeah. So, as we expand nationally, we really have to think about our clients in those different time zones and how we're going to be, supporting those clients. That's really been on our radar. But, also having 150 carriers, that's awesome, for agency owners. But that also comes with a lot of complexity because you have to be able to know how to service with every carrier, what their requirements are, what they want us and how to communicate with them, whether or not that's an email or uploading. And so, we really have a system built around that to be able to expand nationally, add as we need them, keep ahead of that curve, and really also look at how we can even continue to add layers of our service department to take that, again, some of the load, continue to take that load off of those agency owners and producers.
Well, I'll tell you what, you mentioned the sci-fi, you mentioned the team, that set it and forget it is something that no one else offers out there. And it really, really helps you, if you think about it mentally. I want to sell and grow, and I don't want to worry about even the smallest amount of aspects of this. And that's what this is for. It really helps our agency owners and their producers really get started and can leverage that. And to me, that's when the light bulb went off, right?
Yeah.
This is not only a great product because 98% of the people when we started were all, former professional insurance folks, right? They came from the State Farms, they came from the Allstates, they came from the Farmers or other large independents, even brokerages, because we just had more carriers, better access, and our service was second to none. And so you can say, I'm great at hiring customer service people, but then again, you have to be in the HR business, right? You have to be able to train them, be in the business. And with this model, it really light bulb went off for me, as I mentioned, for ancillary services, right? If you're a financial planner and you have a huge practice, or you only do life and health, and now you want to hire a couple producers to do property and casualty, you can, because you don't have to build out an entire wing or put up a storefront and be, hundreds of thousands of dollars deep in this. You've got an entire team that's already leveraged, and that allows you, with Reinsure, to go to the front of the line and be able to leverage, one person's work and really, make it, amplify as if there were 10 people working for you. And so it's truly a magnificent model. And again, I'm very appreciative to be part of it. I'm always appreciative to Phil and Sally for coming up with the concept. As I know you are, we've talked about it before. Conceptually, when someone gets to the point where they're sick of the old way of doing it, and this is the future, I'm going to create something new. He really has here.
I agree. I 100% agree. And we're continuing to see what else we can do. And no doubt about it, even in the last 10 months, look at how our growth. And that's a testament, I think, to not only Phil and his leadership, the leadership of We Insure, Chris, you and Pete, and you guys joining has been a blessing. And so the future is endless here at We Insure, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Well, I would say, I would ask you what your odds are for next year as the amount of states we're going to be in, but I don't think you want to know. So.
Chris, you guys scare me a little bit, but nonetheless, I'm happy for the growth. Challenges are, we love challenges. So we're ready, and we're going to be ready to continue this growth all the way with the sales team and our agents.
I'm not saying I'm wearing this shirt to forecast anything, but there's a few states associated with this type of a look that may be beneficial down the road. I'm not saying what it is. It's going to be a secret for a while, but we're very, very excited about the growth as well. We're excited. I really, truly appreciate all of our agency owners. They're all brand ambassadors. Everybody loves the model and really is, appreciative to be part of it. And again, a lot of that is due to your team out there doing, really what I would consider the heavy lifting, but doing it so well. There's the military, and then there's the Navy SEALs or the Rangers, or that's what we're talking about. That level of service out there, that elite level of service, that's what we're striving to provide every day. So thank you.
No problem. We have the best team around, and they make it easy. So thank you for having me, Chris. I'm happy to meet with anybody and share some more testimony and stories. And I truly am an ambassador as well of this company, being in the insurance industry, and like you, a light bulb hit. And so I'm happy to talk about it at any point.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And it's been another fantastic We Wonder. So have a great day.
You too. Thanks a lot, Chris.
See you
Bye.
later.